Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Zwa and today I'll be doing a book review and discussion on Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. Ninth House is a 2019 adult fantasy story by Leigh Bardugo, and it tells the story of Alex Stern. Alex Stern is a high school dropout. She's had a terrible life. She's also the sole survivor of a horrific and terrible unsolved crime/murder. So she has zero prospects. She does not know what she's going to do with her future. So on the night of this crime, one of the deans of Yale University comes to her and tells her that she will be able to enroll at Yale University on the condition that she uses her ability, which is to see ghosts, to join Ninth House, so a secret society which is tasked with monitoring the actions of the other secret societies of Yale University. Obviously, Alex takes, this opportunity with both hands. She has nothing left, and she has nothing left to lose. So she then has a mentor whose name is Daniel, and she's learning, what these secret societies are and what they do. And these secret societies have produced the most powerful and most influential people in America. I'm talking presidents, billionaires, politicians, probably the 1% of the 1% of the world. These secret societies have produced them. So her job is to make sure that these secret societies aren't doing terrible stuff. So our story begins when there is a terrible, murder of a, schoolgirl that strikes Yale University. And next thing, Alex is trying to investigate and uncover this massive mystery surrounding this murdered girl. And as she digs deeper and deeper, she begins to really understand just how dark and sinister these secret societies are, and just how far these societies will go to get whatever they want. That is essentially what Ninth House is about. It's essentially a murder mystery crossed with adult, dark, occult fantasy. So this will be a non-spoilery review for the most parts, and again, if I do speak about things, I don't think that they will affect the enjoyment of the story or your reading experience. So I think I gave this book a 4 out of 5 on Goodreads. I really enjoyed it. I'm not going to lie. There are definitely some faults that I had in the beginning especially, but for the most part I really enjoyed it. One thing that I liked about the book was Leigh Bardugo's writing. Now, I have been following Leigh Bardugo since she published her first book, which is Shadow and Bone, and it's going to be adapted into a Netflix series that's going to be dropping sometime this year. So I read Leigh Bardugo's books when I was in high school. I have sort of read all of her books. I also reviewed the Six of Crows duology, which you can click wherever you can click to watch the that review. So I've sort of followed her since she published her first book, and it's been so wonderful to watch Leigh grow as an author. I think Ninth House is the book where she has her most sophisticated writing. It's so good. It's such good writing. Excellent. This is her best writing by far from all of the books that she's written. And to just watch her grow and become better in her craft as a writer has been something so wonderful to witness. Another thing that I liked was the world building. I think Leigh Bardugo did a really good job of introducing us into this world and establishing, these are the secret societies. This is what they do. This is how they use their abilities. This is how they harness their magic. It was really interesting reading about these secret societies and being introduced into this world. This world is not where magic is just in your face. The magic is really subtle, and it also has rules that are really interesting to read about. So the world building is so phenomenal. But the world building is also where I kind of had a problem with it. And let me explain. At the beginning of the book, because you are being introduced into this really interesting world, Leigh Bardugo is throwing at you so many details about this world. So much so that I feel like she kind of got carried away a little bit. It's just so many details to take in, and like, I enjoy creating worlds. Like when I write stories or when I'm writing my book, I really have fun just expanding the world and giving the reader details and details about this world, and you know, this is how this works and this is how that works. Like, I enjoy doing that, but you know, sometimes it does affect the reading experience, because it's like, okay, you're getting carried away here. What about the characters? You know, what about this story? You know, and sometimes the details that Lee introduced into the world didn't really tie in with the plot or the characterization. With the Six of Crows duology, especially in Crooked Kingdom, you know, Lee did a really good job of expanding the world, but when she expanded the world, she did it in such a way that it was related to a character's development or related to the, you know, development of the plot. World building serviced the story in some shape or form. Here, you know, it's interesting to read about, it's interesting to like learn about, but it doesn't really enhance, you know, the plot or the characters. And speaking of characters, there's not that many characters here, but Alex is the only character that is like really well fleshed out, and maybe even Daniel, who is Alex's mentor. In the Six of Crows duology again, Lee is juggling 6 characters. All of the 6 characters have their own POVs, and she does a really good job of juggling all of those 6 characters. But here, there's just one character, and she's the only one that's really well fleshed out, whereas the other characters, they're a little bit flat at times. There's this other character, I even forgot her name, but there's this other character who's like sort of like Alex's friend, also part of Ninth House. I found her really interesting, but like she's not given any development. She's not given the time of day, and I was really sad. I was really sad at that. There's a smaller cast of characters, but there's not the same level of characterization or character development as opposed to Lee Bardugo's other works, you know, where you have a sprawling cast, but each cast member is given the time of day to be fully fleshed out and to develop. And that's something that I didn't like. Another thing that I didn't like was the pacing in the beginning. The pacing in the beginning was a little bit off. It's a slow burn of a book, not gonna lie. You know, the mystery is really well done. But it's a slow burn of a book. Like, it takes a little bit of time, you know, to get into the story. You know, in the second act, you know, Lee Bardugo is essentially juggling 2 mysteries. Mystery of the murdered girl and the mystery of Daniel, who is missing. When the book starts, Daniel is missing. You know, they're telling everyone, by they, I mean Ninth House, they're telling everyone, oh no, Daniel went to Spain, but they actually don't know where Daniel went. They don't know. So there's sort of 2 mysteries like running in parallel in the second act, and there's just so many details, you know, so many clues, and you're like, okay, like, you're trying to put the mystery together yourself, but you don't know which clue relates to what mystery, and it's just intense. Then when the third act begins, the story just focuses on this one mystery of the murdered girl, and then, you know, things start coming together, the pieces start falling into place, and as you know, get closer and closer to the climax of the story, the mystery just becomes more and more intense, and the reading experience just becomes so much better. Third act is phenomenal. Like, honestly, I had a blast reading the third act of this book. Like, it's actually my favorite part, like how the mystery just unfolds and grows until it reaches that pinnacle. Chef's kiss. I think that's all I have to say about Ninth House. I totally recommend this book. Stephen King said that this book was impossible to put down. I'm gonna have to disagree, not gonna lie. In the beginning, I was like, okay, well, let me just put this book down, child. I got other things to do. But when I got to the second act, I was like, okay, Steven, maybe you're right, dude. Maybe I'm not gonna put it down. And then obviously the third act, I was just flipping. Like, I was monstering through the third act because I was blown away. That's all I gotta say about Ninth House. Really enjoyed this book. She's a cutie. She's a really good book. I totally recommend it. And it's not like young adult. You know, it's a lot more mature, and it's really good. It's really good. So I highly recommend Ninth House. 4 out of 5 stars. And yeah, so yeah, guys, thank you so much for joining me. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. I hope you enjoyed this review. I'll see what I'm going to be talking about next time, but until then, Bye!